Today we'll be making sesame seed bagels. We are going to start by blooming 1 tablespoon of yeast in 300 milliliters of 90-degree Fahrenheit water for 10 minutes. We are also going to add in 1.5 tablespoons of sugar to this before we mix it up. Give this mixture a generous stir and then set aside for 10 minutes so that it can get foamy. In the meantime, add 3.5 cups of bread flour to a medium-sized bowl. To that, we'll also add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and we're giving our yeast mixture one more stir before we add it into the bread flour. Pour it in, make sure you get all of the foam out too, and then go ahead and start mixing this together with your hands. Continue to combine with your hands until a shaggy dough is formed. It'll take some time, but the dough shouldn't stick to your hands for much longer. Once the dough is formed, go ahead and turn it out onto an unfloured surface and begin kneading for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you can expect your dough to look something like this. Go ahead and form it into a ball. Set it aside while you grab a medium-sized bowl, oil it, and make sure you spread it around so that the dough won't stick as it rises. Go ahead and place your dough in the bowl, and I always flip mine upside down after I rub the bottom into the oil, just so that as it rises, if it touches the cover, it won't stick to the saran wrap. Go ahead and cover this, and then you'll set this aside for 1 to 2 hours to give it time to double in size. After 1 to 2 hours have passed, you're going to lightly flour your work surface. And then you'll punch down your dough lightly and turn it out. And my camera cut out, but you're going to divide it into 8 equal pieces, and then you're going to form each of those pieces into balls. You're looking for the bottom to look something like that, but probably just a little bit tighter. And that's perfect. Once all the balls have been formed, you're going to lightly flour your work surface once again, and then arrange the balls so that they won't rise and touch each other. And then you'll go ahead and cover the balls with a damp towel. Let them rest for 10 minutes to give them time to rise once again. After 10 minutes have passed, you're going to go ahead and start forming the balls into bagel shapes. We're going to start by lightly flouring our fingers, and then we're going to pinch through a dough ball right in the center so that we can start forming the hole. Once your finger gets through, you can go ahead and gently insert a second finger and start to twirl it around to try and get a hole that's about 1 inch in diameter. It should look something like that. Once all your bagels have been formed, you're going to drop it into a large pot of simmering water, and you're going to let them simmer for 1 minute on each side. After the minute has passed, you'll flip them over gently and let them cook for 1 more minute longer. And then when they're fully completed, you're going to get an oiled sheet pan and place them onto that pan. Do this with all of the bagels. When the bagels have finished their first boil, you're going to go ahead and rub an egg mixture on top of them. You could use a rubber brush, but I don't have one, so I'm just using my fingers, and they work just as well. Coat all of the bagels, and then you can add your seasonings after. I am only using sesame seed, but you can use any seasonings that you want. Sprinkle generously, and then we'll pop them in the oven, a preheated 425-degree Fahrenheit oven, for 20 minutes and let them bake. When they're done, they should look like this. They were seriously the best homemade bagels I've ever had, and they tasted like they were from a bakery. So I would highly recommend trying this recipe. If you do, I hope you enjoy.